At the start of MCO, from March 18 and 4 weeks after that, we saw some of our clients starting to be more jittery. People who were not really understanding the long-term nature of robo-advisors and its portfolios got a bit scared, and we did see some withdrawals.
Investors are now more cautious to invest in high-risk assets like peer-to-peer financing. So they do ask a lot of questions to check out the particular companies whenever we list one campaign.
Just to be honest, the COVID-19 really did a number on us because we were expecting some investments into Arta Plus itself, but because of COVID, unfortunately, the LPs pulled back.
A lot of the SMEs that we reached out to still wanted an in-person meeting before submitting their application. From a financing perspective, we saw challenges on the SME front in terms of making repayments. Obviously, because of the whole lockdown situation has impacted their business ability to sort of generate cash flow.
A lot of people actually rely on manual transaction. They actually ask us to do on their behalf to pledge on the project. But now because of COVID-19, they are more willing to do it by themselves and pledge online. We have started this a program called Unicorn. We have done a Facebook Live twice a week, so the response are great. So not only we bring in the local partner to be on board to talk about the current issue and also the project, we are able to even reach out to Taiwan and China guests on this program, so on a weekly basis, so which is very, very encouraging.
We have since migrated into a virtual pitching platform, right? So we used to do face-to-face pitching sessions. And the first time we did the virtual pitching session, it was really good. We had close to 100 investors coming in to view, and which was very tough when you do face-to-face. You know, we typically would get maybe maximum about 20 people or 10 to 20 people. But it has been really, really good for, in the virtual environment.
We introduced firstly a new product called Stashaway Simple, where we help people manage cash. And then at HQ level, we actually raised Series C, $60 million for expansion into 3 more countries, Hong Kong, Dubai, and Thailand. So, Malaysia is a very central part of that, and we want to remain committed to this market.
So what we have done and supported SMEs is basically to provide a deferment program in order to enable them to delay their principal repayments until after the lockdown, so that they're able to sort of recover the business and hence be able to make the repayments.
Surprisingly, we see increased numbers opening account with Alexco as a new potential investor, as well as we managed to have very good debt recovery to reduce our default rate from 2.7% into 1.1%.
With COVID itself, you see a new type of interest from new type of investors coming in and new type of opportunities for the business. And as a company, we've always looked at how agile we are, how we can adjust with the situation and scenarios. I think we are looking at positively, going out there to grow the business and the company.
We had sort of like projected a gradual growth of client numbers before the start of the year, and we had a certain number in mind that we want to achieve in terms of client numbers by the end of 2020. But we're very happy and grateful that we have hit that number in June of 2020, and this was the result of people looking for digital ways to grow their money and to invest, and that has sort of like worked for us this year. For the industry and for the country, I think the silver lining throughout this MCO period has been the push towards digitalization.
So obviously in March, when people just were so worried about investing at all, we obviously saw a slowdown. But then since then, April, May, we slowly recovered, and by June we were at all-time highs, and July all-time highs again. So we recovered back to pre-COVID levels. In this COVID period, we actually not just survive, but we really thrive.
Despite the crisis, we have seen that delinquents and default rates have been well managed during this period of time, in part driven by the changes in our risk assessment and due diligence processes, as well as given the deferment program that we have offered SMEs. So these changes have helped both investors to manage their delinquencies and defaults, at the same time enable SMEs the opportunity to rebuild their business going forward and hence be able to thrive post-COVID. So I think overall we do see that sort of light at the end of the tunnel for both SMEs and investors.